Sarah had noticed the cub 3 rotations ago. On a planet where apex predators stood 12 feet tall with crystalline fangs that could pierce starship hull plating, where the very air hummed with territorial warnings that made seasoned xenobiologists weep. Sarah walked alone through the violet undergrowth, humming an old Earth song about sunshine and rainbows. The cub, no bigger than a Earth house cat but infinitely more lethal, had been following her since the canyon pass. Its 6 legs moved in perfect silence across the moss-covered stones, its twin tails coiled tight with hunting focus, and its 3 eyes tracked her every movement with the cold precision of a creature born to kill. Sarah pretended not to notice. She'd named it Vex in her head, though she'd never spoken the name aloud. Naming things was dangerous. Naming things made them matter. And on Cathura Prime, where the Galactic Council had explicitly forbidden human presence after the last expedition ended with 17 dead researchers, mattering could get you killed. But Sarah had never been good at following rules. "Beautiful day," she said to no one in particular, adjusting the sample containers on her belt. Behind her, 40 meters back, Vex froze mid-step. Perfect weather for collecting fungal spores. No murderous wildlife at all, nope, just me and the lovely peaceful forest. Vex's earstalks twitched. The cub was young, probably barely 8 weeks from the nursery dens, but already possessed the killing instincts that made Catherine apex predators the stuff of nightmares across 5 sectors. Its species, the Razeth, were known to hunt in calculated silence, to memorize the patterns of prey over days before striking, to show no mercy and certainly no curiosity about anything that wasn't food. Yet this one had been following her for 3 days without attacking. Sarah knelt beside a cluster of bioluminescent flowers, making herself deliberately vulnerable. Her back was to Vex, her neck exposed, her attention apparently absorbed by the delicate blue petals that pulsed with their own inner light. In her peripheral vision, she saw the cub's shadow shift. It had moved closer 30 meters now. "You know what's funny about humans?" Sarah said conversationally, still not turning around. "We're not supposed to be here. Council says we're too reckless, too emotional, too likely to get ourselves killed on death worlds like this one." She carefully extracted a flower sample, her hands steady. "But we keep coming back anyway. We're stubborn like that. 20 meters. The cub was getting bolder, or hungrier. Sarah couldn't tell which, and both options were problematic. A young Razeth learning to hunt would see her as an easy target, slow, weak, without natural weapons. The fact that she'd survived 3 days was either a testament to dumb luck or the cub's indecision. Sarah was betting on the latter. "I had a cat once," she continued, standing slowly and brushing off her knees. She turned slightly, still not looking directly at where Vex crouched in the shadows of a massive crystal bark tree. "Her name was Whiskers. Terrible name, I know, but I was 7. She used to stalk me around the house, hiding behind furniture, waiting to pounce on my ankles." Sarah smiled at the memory. "Thought she was a mighty hunter. Fiercest predator in all of New Seattle. 15 meters. Now Sarah could hear it, the faintest whisper of breath, the microscopic crunch of moss beneath retractable claws. Vex was in pre-pounce position, haunches coiled, all 3 eyes locked on target. This was it. Decision time. Either the cub would strike or... "Where'd you go?" Sarah said suddenly, spinning around with exaggerated confusion. She looked left, then right, her hands shading her eyes as if searching. "I could have sworn I heard something. Maybe it was just the wind, or a ghost." "Do you believe in ghosts, mysterious forest creature that's definitely not there?" Vex ... hesitated. It was the first rule of Earth predator psychology that every xenobiologist learned and promptly forgot. Play changes everything. Prey doesn't play. Prey runs, fights, or freezes. But play? Play was the language of equals, of creatures who existed outside the simple hierarchy of hunter and hunted. Play was confusing. "Oh well," Sarah said with theatrical disappointment, turning back to her work. "Guess I'm all alone out here." Completely alone, with no backup. And definitely no emergency beacon that would summon an extraction team in 12 minutes flat. Nope, just vulnerable little me. She took 3 steps forward, then paused. Behind her, she heard a sound no xenobiologist had ever recorded in the wild. A small, frustrated chirp. Young Razeth didn't chirp. They growled, hissed, or remained silent, but they didn't chirp. Sarah's heart nearly burst. What was that? She spun again, faster this time, and caught a glimpse of violet-scaled hide disappearing into the undergrowth. Did someone make a noise? Was that ... could it be? A tiny murder machine who's been following me for 3 days? Another chirp, closer this time. Vex had emerged slightly from cover, 3 eyes wide with what Sarah's very human, very anthropomorphizing brain interpreted as confusion. The cubs' tails had uncurled slightly, no longer in attack position but something more like curiosity. There you are, Sarah exclaimed, pointing directly at Vex. The cub jumped back, startled, and Sarah laughed. Oh, you're good, very sneaky. I almost didn't see you, almost. For a long moment, hunter and human stared at each other across the violet moss. By every law of nature on this death world, Sarah should have been dead already. By every regulation of the Galactic Council, she shouldn't even be here. But humans had a bad habit of ignoring both nature and bureaucracy when something more interesting presented itself. And Vex was very interesting. I'm collecting samples, Sarah explained, as if the cub could understand standard, boring scientist stuff. But I've got ration bars in my pack. Probably not as tasty as human flesh, but they're chicken-flavored. Well, synthetic chicken. From Earth, you'd probably hate it. She paused. Want to find out? She reached slowly into her pack and extracted a protein bar. The smell hit the air immediately processed, artificial. Nothing like the living prey Vex was designed to hunt. The cub's nose slits flared. Sarah tossed the bar not at Vex but beside him. Not a gift, not a bribe, but an offering between equals. Your choice, little one. Stay hidden and hungry, or take a risk on the weird human who talks too much. Vex stared at the protein bar. Then at Sarah, then back at the bar. And slowly, with the caution of a creature born to kill, but not yet committed to that singular purpose, the cub crept forward. Sarah smiled and turned away, giving Vex privacy to make the decision. Behind her, she heard the rapporteur, heard the surprised chirp as synthetic chicken flavor hit a tongue designed for raw flesh, heard the small sounds of eating that meant, at least for today, she'd made a friend on this death world. Good choice, she whispered to the violet forest. Now let's see if we can both make it home alive. Above them, the twin suns of Kethera Prime burned crimson and gold, casting long shadows through the crystal trees. And in those shadows, a human and a killer walked together, neither hunter nor hunted, but something the galaxy had rarely seen before. Something new.